All right, traders, welcome to this event, AI Indicator Lab. That's what we're talking about today, how to use AI to build your own indicators in Tickblaze. Thanks to Sean for the nice intro. And, this is something that I have been really excited about. You guys know I'm always interested in tools and opportunities that empower the trader, new opportunities for the traders to learn things or to get better or to have new yeah, like Dr. Frankenstein. Yeah, creating things like Dr. Frankenstein. That's right. But giving traders an opportunity to have a better edge. We all know what it's like to get our tails handed to us in the markets, and most of us, thankfully, have gotten past that point. We've worked really hard to get to where we're at, but anything that can make our lives easier is what we are after as traders, whether that be simplify a process, make it easier for me to see my signal, make it easier for me to manage multiple charts and multiple instruments at the same time. Whatever that looks like for you, that's what we're going to go through today. It's one of the biggest shifts that I've seen in trading tools in a long time. Okay. I don't say that lightly. AI has absolutely brought us into a whole new realm of opportunity and sophistication that thankfully we don't have to be sophisticated to use. That is what makes this brilliant is you don't have to be a coder. You don't even really have to understand what the code is doing. There'll be some things that I go over today that frankly, I don't have a lot of exposure to. I'm not an expert in, but I've still been able to create some really cool tools. And we'll be kind of looking at these throughout the presentation today. So here's the deal though. I've been trading a long time. I've used pretty much every tool that you can think of, order flow and footprint and volume and VWAP and custom stuff. There's always been, I wouldn't call it a problem, but one sort of issue is that you can see things in the market, but you can't always turn them into something that you can actually use, right? And so that's what we're covering today. How can traders turn trading ideas into working indicators using AI? So let's get into it. Of course, before we get too far, we do need to post our disclaimer. This is not investment or trading advice. We're not here to be your advisors. This is all for educational purposes. Please understand the risk of the market. Okay, just because you build a cool tool doesn't mean you're going to become a millionaire overnight. You might, I don't know, but I can't guarantee that, right? So we are recording the event. So if you have to run, no worries. We will get you the recording. We'll send it over to you. And feel free to ask questions as we go. I'll try to get to them in a reasonable amount of time without deterring too much from the presentation. Okay. All right, if we're good on the disclaimer, go ahead and give me a yes, and we'll keep moving forward. All right, good. Okay, so here's where we get into it. So you're sitting there, you're watching the charts, you're notice something, and it's not random. It's something that's consistent. Maybe it's a specific momentum shift before a big move, or maybe it's divergence that shows up right before reversal, or liquidity getting swept before price expands. Or maybe it's just a clean, repeatable entry, but the more you watch it, the more obvious it becomes. And then you have that thought. Every serious traders have this thought at one point or another. If I could just build an indicator that does this for me, and that's where the most traders should level up. But this is where things start to kind of break down. And I'm going to kind of show you everything that you see on these pages. These are all indicators that I've built in Tickblaze. This is a specific Heikin-Ashi signal. It's very dialed in and very fine-tuned. Very good. The beauty is I want to keep it as simple as possible. I don't want to see a bunch of stuff because I have a bunch of stuff on the charts, right? So the simplest thing, like just show me a little arrow that says to get long, then I know my signal's there, right? But here's where things start to break down, right? You see the signal, you know you've got something really sweet, and you go looking for it, right? Maybe you go to a marketplace, or you scroll through some indicators, or you go to different vendors, and you're trying to find something that looks kind of close. Anybody ever been there before? Maybe you buy something, maybe it works a little, but it's not quite right. It's not exactly what you're looking for. So then what do? You try a different one, and then you try another one. And eventually you realize that the thing that you actually want doesn't really exist, right? How many of you have been there before? You're looking for something, you can't find it, And some of you right now have ideas that you're going, I've been dying to code this. Yeah. So we got a lot of yeses coming in. So here's the truth. It's, you know, it's not because your idea isn't good, or it's because building it maybe was, outside of what somebody else knew or what other traders knew how to do. But you think about building something out, then you look at what's required to actually build it yourself, right? You need programming knowledge. You need to understand the platform. You need to understand how to deal with APIs. You need to understand debugging errors and thinking long term. And that's that's not trading anymore. Now you're in the realm of software development, right? How many of you have seen you see plenty of developers out there that don't know anything about trading, and vice versa.
This is what stopped me, Jim, and I'll just share my own experience is that,
Mm-hmm.
I've been building indicators and algorithms with a development team for 10 years, and just looking at code scares me. Like I'm like, I don't understand it. I don't even want to understand it. I don't even feel I need to. And but most people, maybe you guys can, tell me if you relate with me or not, but we'd like to be able to do this, but who really wants to spend time uh, learning how to be a developer when really trading is as
Mm-hmm.
difficult as it is already, right? And so it's for I know for myself, Jim, like, I think what you've built here as well, and just kind of I don't want to give people too much too soon. I know we got a lot to talk about, but I think you've built a process where it's literally minimal and AI does everything for you, right? You
Mm-hmm.
just need to tell it what to do,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah, I've got the AI prompts and everything. So you just plug those prompts in, and we'll teach you how to speak the lingo just enough to know this is the
hmm
signal I want, this is what I want it to do, and then
hmm
AI will do it for you. It's
And
just
I
a
don't,
matter of garbage in, garbage out, right? You got to
yeah,
give it the right tools. Yeah.
and sorry to interrupt you, Jim. I just make sure when I know you're using a different mic there. It's just it's sounding a bit distorted a little bit. So maybe just don't.
Oh,
Maybe I don't know if it's a volume setting or what, but I'm just letting you know it. Sometimes it
yeah.
pops a bit, but that's fine.
Let's try this. Can you guys still hear me okay?
Yeah, just don't not so loud, maybe.
Okay. Yeah, I get
Yeah,
excited. I'm used
yeah,
to always having to scream in the mic. People are like, I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
yeah. Okay, perfect.
Okay.
All right, guys.
All right, good. Let's jump back in. So, yeah, and that's so true. I mean, I think a lot of traders get to that point where they're like, I don't know how to do this stuff. And so you kind of look for something similar, and it doesn't exist sometimes, right? So then you go to a developer, right? You think, well, maybe I'll hire someone. But now you're in for money. And the money sounds like it's under. Let me do this. Let me turn off my noise cancellation. Maybe that'll help. Can you guys hear it better now? Is that a little better? Is it about the same? Let me know. We'll try this though. So here's the thing though. You've already spent money, odds are, on indicators and tools, right? Well, how many traders want to go out and spend a whole lot more to not even know that the outcome is going to be what you want it to be, right? Like you go through and you hire somebody, and meanwhile you're thinking, I really hope this works like I want it to, right? Every time you have to get um, modifications done, or it's more money, more money, more money, and then you go to the next idea, and it's more money, and so you're depending on somebody else to build your edge. You're depending on some developer to understand your trading, and that is really tough for a developer to understand. Some of these guys don't trade at all. Some do, but eventually most traders just say forget it. I don't want to spend that kind of money, and so you abandon the idea and you do it manually or whatever the case might be. So then you get into the buying trap. Instead of building what the trader wants, they start buying indicators. They test it, they try to adjust the settings, they try to convince themselves that it works, and so it doesn't. And then what happens? You buy another one, and over, and you've just spent money, you've spent time, and you're still using tools that don't match technically how you trade, right? So this is where everything has sort of changed. For the first time, we can take an actual trading idea and turn it into a working indicator without having to go through all that. Not months later, not hiring somebody, not guessing, not having to go take a course in C# coding, like immediately. Like you put it into AI and you have it the same day. That's what we're talking about. And This is what AI has made possible for us, and it's really incredible. Um, but let me be clear about something. While we have AI, AI alone does not solve this. If you were to go into, you've probably tried this already. I imagine most of you have. You go to AI. Be honest. How many of you have tried to build an indicator with AI and didn't really get anywhere? Anybody here? I'm just curious.
I have.
You have, okay?
You bet.
I
Yeah,
have. Yeah, it was the debugging that got me.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
it was not being able to get it to work. I think that's everybody's arch nemesis.
It's all of
yep,
it. The compiling, the debugging. It looks
Yeah.
it looks like code. How come it's not working?
yep.
Yeah.
Yep, made one. One was decent. Stats weren't great. Yeah. So you go through and you try to build it out in AI, but that's not that's not the full picture, right? You ask AI to build an indicator, it spits out something that just didn't work, right? So this is the missing piece. Is indicators are not just code. They're very specific structure. They're specific platform references. There's correct naming conventions and plotting logics and safe calculations. And if any of that is wrong, it doesn't work. Now, AI doesn't understand that by default. Now, I don't want to scare you away here. Okay. So here's what we did. We trained AI. Okay. This is sort of what I was really focused on is how do I get AI to build the indicator to make it work? And I've built some really cool stuff. For example, this one is a volume delta divergence signal. Just shows up on the bottom of the chart. It's really great for pullbacks. Okay. So I've built some really cool stuff in there, but it took sort of training AI to understand how Tickblaze works. What is the coding language? What is the APIs? And that's when everything changed. Okay. So the way that this works, this is the process. Once AI understands the platform, and the process becomes simple. It's a matter of what's your trading idea and putting it into the correct AI prompts, because there is a correct way to prompt AI. And then you get the indicator code, and then you compile it, and then you have to go through and refine it, improve it, debug it. Okay. Now, AI is going to do all of this for you, but you have to understand how to put it into a structured logic. Okay. You feed it into AI, AI builds the indicator. You load it, then you find out there's errors, then AI fixes it. And that's the loop. It's just a matter of a little bit of time, but imagine how much time you save by not relying on back and forth with a developer or having to go learn how to code it, right? Here's an indicator I built. It's a pretty simple indicator. I kind of started with this one. What it does is it colors the charts. I've got 5 exponential moving averages built in. And then when they all line up to where they're sequential, like, this one's above this one, above that one, above this one, it colors the chart red or green so that I know that that is the best case scenario for momentum in the market because all the EMAs are aligned. And I can choose to turn on the EMAs or turn them off, but it still colors the chart for me. So pretty cool stuff. So what does this mean for traders? This is the part that changes everything. You stop being a trader who uses tools and you become a trader who builds them. It's a completely different level. You no longer have to rely on other traders. Can you show how you built that indicator? Yes, I will. I will. Yes. Um, so what could you build? We can look at that too. So again, not relying on other people's tools, you're generating your own ideas, your own indicators, testing them instantly, modifying the signals. Oh yeah, we could probably look at giving out a couple of freebies as part of this thing too. I'm sure. So we'll show you that. It's easy.
Give him all you got, Jim. Give him all the
Okay.
stuff. We want all your goodies, right? Everybody give a yes in the chat box if you want all the indicators Jim's have built. Like
Put me on the spot
we
here.
all we
Yes,
want
we
them. We
can.
want them all.
We
Yeah,
want it
or
all.
we're hanging up right now.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. There you go. Yeah, that's fine. We can work it out to give you guys those. Here's another indicator, for example, that I built that uses two EMAs, and this is a different concept. Some of you might have seen me teach this. Yeah, Santa, I'm a good boy. Um, so It takes two EMAs, and what it does is when the EMAs cross over, it finds the highest point before the cross down, okay? And then it finds the next cross and it looks for the lowest point. And what it does is it actually builds zigzags based on those EMA crosses. And then it also shows you when the market is above or below the previous pivot, it'll color that leg red or green for you to show that this has changed direction. And then it also highlights the pivots with SBP, which stands for structure breaking pivot. So this means this is the pivot that went on to break the previous structure. And so this is something that I use to plot support and resistance. You can see if I draw this line here, clearly the market reacted off of that structure breaking pivot, okay? Because now you're using EMAs to determine the direction of the market, and you're using the structure breaking pivot to show you where that supply and demand is in the market. It's a really great way to plot that out, and I use this pretty regularly in my trading. So good stuff. So what could you build though? We've shown you a couple ideas. Here's another one, just since we're geeking out here together. This is a stall indicator. It's showing consolidation zones in the market. You can see these, blue line, yellow line. What it's doing is it's showing when the market is overlapping like this, and this is especially helpful on the Heikin-Ashi bars. You see when the market's going sideways, I call these landmines. They're like landmine zones because you don't want to trade into them and you don't necessarily want to trade out of them. And so I coded this to be able to show me in the market, when is the market going sideways on me? And sometimes you might think, well, that's easy to see, but how many times do you feel like you missed it? How many of you have ever taken a trade and you're like, man, the market was going sideways. I shouldn't have taken that trade. Anybody? Or am I the only one? Because I know I've been there before. I'm like, man, market's not moving. I shouldn't have traded that. So anyway, so there's another example, but the examples open up pretty dramatically with the use of AI. I mean, you can build custom momentum indicators, divergence detection, liquidity sweep detectors, volatility filters, smart entries, the whole gamut, right? Yeah, you get stuck in the fake out breakout, right? So this can help you with that as well. So now, instead of having to go searching, let's just build it yourself. Or how many of you have indicators that you've used on other platforms? And you're like, man, I would love to have that on Tickblaze. That's the reason I never switched to Tickblaze. Come on, you can be honest. How many of you still have indicators that you rely on from other platforms that you wish we had available in Tickblaze? I know I'm not the only one that had other indicators and I'm like, I want this in Tickblaze. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, we just solved that problem for you. I assure you, anything that Ninja can do, Tickblaze can do better. It's like that song, right? TradingView, great. These are great platforms, guys, but there's a lot you can do in Tickblaze, a lot. So that's going to be great.
Question for you, Jim. I'm sure a
Yeah.
lot of people. So, as you guys may or may not know, we are really literally on the cusp of launching Tickblaze Web. And
Mm-hmm.
so Amar just said, I'm heavily invested in TradingView. Yeah, we are too.
Yeah.
In fact, we have a partnership with them, a big one. And we've been building for the last pretty much 7 to 8 months Tickblaze Web and mobile apps. And two things have happened, which kind of lends itself to this conversation is the TradingView charting infrastructure for all of the TradingView partners uses Java, whereas TradingView's main platform uses PineScript. And what's really good is we've also built a wrapper so that you can literally, within our trading web platform, we can have JavaScript indicators, we could have C sharp indicators through the wrapper. You could do PineScript indicators here for TradingView's main platform. You could ultimately do C Sharp and Python for Tickblaze's platform. What's really cool is that there's no limitations now on what Jim's built here for us because we have a program that's going to teach you how to do this. And whether you want to have them on TradingView or Tickblaze's web, which uses TradingView, or Tickblaze desktop, which uses the C sharp style, like there's no limitations with what we've basically done here. And you won't have any restrictions on using the platforms that you choose to use with us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'll be fun doing some of the JavaScript stuff as well. Absolutely. And web-based is going to be phenomenal. I know everybody's looking forward to that. Certainly I am as well. So be able to track your positions and everything on the go if you had to, if you're bigger time frame traders and that kind of thing is great too. So, but so here's what we did. We cracked the code on how to build great indicators with AI. And I'm not sure you're talking about just little rinky dink stuff. I'm talking about very advanced stuff. There's some stuff that I'm working on right now that I'm super excited about building out. It's just a matter of having the time to go in and work with AI to do it. But it's partially done and it's looking great. So anyway, so we've cracked the code. We built an entire system around this. Now, this is not a coding course. We're not going to teach you how to code, and it's not theory. This is a process. We're teaching you how to structure the ideas properly so that AI can turn that into what you want. Because if you can't tell AI what you want, then it can't give you what you want, right? So it's a matter of understanding, here's what I need to give AI to build me the tool that I want. It's also going to be built around how to fix errors. And there will be errors because AI is not fallible, or infallible, I should say. And so there will be times when you need to go in and fix some errors and do some debugging. That is standard protocol with this. You need to understand that that is just part of the process, but AI will do all the work for you, which is great. You'll need to understand how to refine the signals until they do exactly what you want. There may be some things where you might build something and there might be something that's not quite right based on what you were looking for. And you just have to go back to AI and say, hey, here's what I was looking for. Here's what it's doing. Let's fix this. And so this will be really great. So bottom line, we're going to teach you all of that. And then we're also going to work on a brand new indicator together. We're going to do that together live. So I'm going to actually walk through how to build an indicator. We're going to do it together and we're going to go step by step and we're going to build all this really cool code that we probably won't entirely understand, but that's okay. We'll teach you some of the basics of code so that you at least know a little bit of what you're doing. And again, this point, it's about actually building something that actually works and seeing the entire process start to finish.
Let me just kind of add right there, like the image you're looking at on Jim's chart right now. Okay, so he's got special channel indicator. He's got a market structure indicator, which is looking at the micro swings. He's got a macro EMA cross structure indicator that's looking at the macro pivots. He's also got a background coloring tool, and he's also got a divergent signal built on volume delta. So right there, that probably took, Jim, give me an estimate on how to produce, how much time did it take to get all of those that are on your chart finished?
Yeah, it's depending on the complexity of the indicator, it probably takes me an hour or two to build each one of these.
So if you look at maybe there's 6 indicators, so maybe over the course of a couple
days.
a couple days, for me to go and hire developers to code that, the amount of time it would take not only to set up the meetings, to go over the product scope, to basically explain what I want, then to have them code it, then to have them send it back, and then to QA it, and then to go back and say there's a bug, and then blah, blah, blah. We're talking 20, 30 grand. Like this is not a joke. Like to go and hire developers to code your stuff. And then not only that, to find the ones that you actually like working with, that you believe they're not just ripping you off and they're not some crazy hacker in, godforsaken some country, which we don't need to mention here. But like, you know what I mean? Like the point is like, it's not always a seamless process. And truthfully, this is the future, guys. Like what we're going to be doing in Tickblaze is we're going to be adding an AI component, and we're going to be building probably our own chat infrastructure into the actual platform. So as we evolve with this, you guys have a lot to benefit from, plus to save yourself thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, right?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And these tools, I built these specifically based on what I see in the markets and based on my trading flow. And so I have exact rules built around every tool that I can see it quickly and go, okay, I see a trade, it's right here. Boom. Okay, I see a trade, it's right here. Boom. So it just makes it so much easier. So yeah, there's just so much you can do with it. But again, it just goes down to being able to tell AI the right things, and that's what we're going to teach you. So when you look at if you're using somebody else's tools, right? You see the same signals that everybody else with that tool sees, right? Everybody's seeing that same signal. But when you build your own tools, you're playing a different game. You're not on the same sheet of music, right? You get to do things the way that you want to do them. You see things earlier. You detect things that other people might miss. That's where the real edge is because you can actually build what you trade, which is really great. So how many of you are pumped about this? How many of you think this is something that I absolutely want to be a part of? Give me a yes in the chat box if you are eager to see what's involved in this process. I'm going to read through some of the questions while we're at it, and then we'll go over next steps as well. Evaluate strategy. Yeah, that's a good comment there, Rain. Yeah. Never understood the difference between desktop and web. Yeah, so web is you can trade on any browser. Web is an online platform. It works anywhere you have a web browser on a, assuming you have the right type of device. Desktop applications you can only use with a PC. So for Tickblaze desktop, you need a PC computer and it lives on the desktop. So that's the main difference. Yeah. Good information. Yeah, we'll get the recording over to you, no doubt. Yeah, Q Superbands. Absolutely. We can do it, I'm sure. If I build an indicator, can it be locked code? So here's the thing. If you build an indicator and it lives on your PC, it's, it is what it is. You're not sharing it, so that's fine. But if you want to share it and lock it, yes, you can do that. We can maybe get some resources.
I will touch base on this just quickly here, Jim, because
sure.
I mean, a great example is we have a vendor partner network. And ultimately, anybody that has a business that wants to sell indicators or strategies or courses on the Tickblaze platforms, you can apply to be a vendor partner. And then what ends up happening is that as long as you have a valid business and you have a website and you can definitely build your indicators, and we have an obfuscation guide inside of our API section inside of the community with about 5 or 6 different companies that we vetted that are great for obfuscation. And you can protect your software. And yes, you can sell it. And we will actually help you promote selling it. We will actually work with you through a joint venture relationship. And you can make a lot of money working with Tickblaze if you want to build your tools and you want to actually develop software and get into the indicator business. Yes, we have a vendor network that's can be very lucrative for traders that want to build indicators into Tickblaze. Yes, it could be literally a business where you could in a month make more than you're probably making now selling software. Big margins in selling software. Yes.
Yeah, it's repeat. Once you do the work, the cost is done for the most part, and then just sell it. Yeah, absolutely. So Jason had a good comment. An AI agent for back testing optimization could be cool. I agree. I'm sure it's coming. That's a great concept that we can explore more as well later. Absolutely. Can we share indicators on the platform? Yes, you absolutely can. Through our community, you can share it that way. We do have some traders that have already shared some of their stuff in there. So feel free to do so. If you do want to lock it up and sell it, you can do that too. With their beta a few months back. Yeah, very cool. Good to hear, Mark. It is exciting. Absolutely. I'm not going to go into so David, I'm not going to go into the details of doing an actual indicator now because it does take a bunch of time. But in our training, we will absolutely go through that. Yeah, this is more like an introductory event, give you an idea of what's available and so on. Alert when the market explodes. Yes, we can absolutely do that, Martin. Sky's the limit. So let's go through what it takes to get started with this. Okay. So here is the launch of this AI indicator lab is what we're calling it. Okay. This is going to be a live mastermind event, and the total value on this, realistically, here's the question. Like, what would you pay to never have to buy another indicator again? I think that's probably the best way to look at this, because it goes beyond saying, what would you pay for a build intensive? What would you pay for prompting? What would you pay for this? It's far beyond that. Anytime I look at product pricing, we look at intrinsic value. And what that means is what are you spending versus what you stand to gain from
Hmm.
that expenditure? Anytime that we can give you more value in what it's going to deliver you in terms of save time, save money, make more money, right? That is what we're looking at here. To have to spend $4.95 to never have to buy another
Yeah,
indicator,
it's
it's insane.
it's just a mute point. Like realistically, like to Jim's comment here, guys, like the reason we charge for this, so just so you guys understand, is like we're gonna put our teams together for several days. We're gonna allocate time with our resources in a company, and we're gonna basically teach you a skill that you can literally benefit from for the next 10 to 20 years. So
Mm-hmm.
495, you know, that's you can't go out for dinner with your family for less than $500 to a nice restaurant, and that's basically a wasted time, right? I mean, like for us, what we're going to do here is we're going to teach you how to save tens of thousands of dollars, and we're going to show you how to build whatever you want. And some of you are going to actually turn that into businesses. Like I would arguably think that many of you in here have already made the comment that you want to partner with Tickblaze and sell your software. Well, you need to learn how to do that, and we'll definitely show you how to do that. And it's going to take a little bit of time. Plus, you need the videos and you need the training, and you want to learn how to do this. Rain says I do. Yeah, exactly. So for those of you that want to spend time with that and you want to actually come in and actually learn how to do this, you just literally come. We're going to do a private boot camp. It's going to be very straightforward. We're going to walk you through the prompts, the step-by-step process. We'll have a checklist for you. Jim will go through everything and basically walk you through how he does it. And I know that's not on the PowerPoint, but Jim, I don't see why we can't just give them all of the indicators that you've built already as an
Sure.
added bonus.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
so
can.
yeah, we just toss you a bunch of free software too, guys, and we'll
There
put them
you go.
together in a community post for you. And yeah, we'll dial this in. And so let's run a poll in here, guys. And you know, how many of you guys are planning on joining? Because we want to put together something specific for you guys. This is not like a marketplace launch. This is very different. This is very niche. So if you guys can you know, just put what you guys are actually, you know, if you guys are actually going to join us, because what we'll do is we'll put together a curated opportunity for you guys. And yeah, Hillary's basically saying, what AI platforms do you need to know? We've done this in ChatGPT, but we actually have, you know, JVC, our head of QA, runs our entire QA team using other AI infrastructure. So Jim and I are actually going to put together like a list of like the best of the best, and we'll be going over all of that in the actual boot camp. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there's some tools that are kind of pretty basic, and then there's some that get a little bit more advanced. Copilot probably would not be one that I would suggest. It's more advanced than what those
Hmm.
capabilities might be. But yeah, we'll show you everything in terms of what to use, and then we'll go over some advanced concept as well, as far as like some other AIs that you can use that'll be more advanced, but how to
Hmm.
do it safely without like,
Hmm.
you know, you just launched a bomb to, missile to another country and because AI went rogue. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously though, you do need to know what you can and can't do because it can get hairy a little bit.
Yeah,
Um,
and we're really the biggest thing that this is. I think the biggest thing isn't. It's going to be two steps. It's going to be teaching you the right prompting styles, and then ultimately teaching you the right process on debugging, so that it doesn't become a process that you don't enjoy. Like one of the
mhm,
things I'm going to share with you right now is time is a resource I personally hate wasting. And if I have to go in and I have to sit there and have to prompt, and then I don't get the end result psychologically, I've just given up on the whole process because I'm like, the hell with this shit. I got a whole lot of other stuff that I could be doing with my time that I don't want to be bothered with this, right? And so what Jim has done is he's created a system that follows a linear process through the entire start to finish, and he's done it at scale now. And it's the only reason I even let him come in and do this presentation because, Jim came to me and he's like, hey, Sean, like I've really got something dialed in here and I think that many people can benefit. And I'm like, yeah, okay, sure, Jim. Like we've gone down this process and, it never works. And it's like annoys everybody to hell. And like for me to actually have this launch was a really big step of faith here because like I know for a fact that what he's done is going to change this, right? So yeah, it's a great example, Renee. So MentorQ just released Quinn,
mhm.
and we're actually in the process of deploying something like that as well inside the Tickblaze infrastructure. Yeah, so it's yeah, it's exciting. Yeah. So can
Yeah.
you guys do me a favor and just because like the polls are one thing, but just type a yes in the chat box. Just put a yes if you're planning on joining this in the chat box. I want to see how many people are coming to this that want to be a part of this because I need to know because we're going to put together resources for you guys and the poll is great for my teams, but I just want to see, personally how many of you guys want to be a part of this and because we want to
Mhm.
really make sure that we can put together a group of support and help you guys along the way as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Another thing too that I'll mention is let's say you're in this process and you come to this event, you start building something out and you hit some kind of a roadblock and you're like, I just don't know what I'm doing wrong, or maybe something's going sideways. Reach out to me. Another thing is like without obviously I can't, give my whole day away here, but if you need help with something and you're hitting a roadblock, reach out to me. We can work through it, or I can work with our team internally because here's the other thing too is like I could have had our team build this stuff for me, but it takes time. I got to wait on them, and I'm stubborn. I don't know about you guys, but I'm the kind of guy that's like, let me just do it myself sometimes. Sometimes it's just easier, right? And so I'm going, let me just do it myself. I'm sure I can figure this out. And that's kind of what opened Pandora's box. And now I've built a lot of really cool stuff. But
Hmm. Yeah,
I'll let,
the cost, Aaron, is already on the slide. Let's go back to the cost because I think Aaron said he didn't understand the cost. Yeah, so it's just 495. It's like $500. You're
mhm,
going to spend 2 days with us. It's
mhm,
like a conference without having to spend meal, flights, and tickets, and you don't got to get a hotel. You don't got to do anything. It's like literally 2 day
yep,
event. We're going to go through everything with you, start to finish, and then you're going to get recordings. You're going to get the process. You're going to get examples. Plus, you're going to get a bunch of free indicators. So you're getting like over
mhm,
10, 15 grand worth of indicators that Jim already built, right? Like the cost
mhm.
is it's a no-brainer, right? So yeah.
Yeah, I know you guys have spent more than that on one indicator, so it's great. Can you combine indicators to give you a signal and make it into one indicator? Yes, absolutely. As long as we can either dissect the indicator to figure out what the code is, or if you have the code, even better, we'll figure it out. Absolutely. Can we make not just an indicator, but a bot? Yes, I'm sure it's possible. That's going to be like phase two. You got to walk before you can run, right? So, but and here's the thing too. If if you can't make the training, you are more than welcome to grab the recordings. Obviously, we'll record it if you can't be there live, and you can still benefit from the training, of course. So that is totally fine. Of course, you all know that you can get the platform for free, so there's no barriers there, and it's award winning and it's phenomenal and so on.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, and
um,
anybody that builds a bunch of great tools in
mhm,
here that wants to monetize them through a business,
mhm,
once you get to that stage, you can go to their website under the partner section and you can apply to be a vendor partner. We have a requirement, obviously, for compliance, but you could literally turn this into a business and it's exciting. Like, I mean,
mhm,
and I mean, who doesn't want to try that? I mean, it's great. So, anyways, I'm
mhm.
excited. Good work, Jim. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. What other questions you guys have before we wrap up? I know this is kind of a short, sweet event. We just kind of go through it, and then we'll dive deep in the training. That'll be just to reiterate, the training will be April 1st and 2nd. No joke, but April 1st and 2nd from 10 to noon will be the timing. It's 495. Yeah,
495, Terrell. Yeah, 495. Yeah.
so there you go.
Yeah. And you don't have to buy plane tickets, hotel rooms, or meals. It's all online. We're going to do it online. So you can, yeah.
This
The link says 395.
it does. They need to change that. That is interesting.
Okay.
If you can get it before, I mean, the price says that,
Yeah,
so
maybe it was just an error on the actual PowerPoint. Yeah, either way, take advantage of it.
interesting. Yeah, I'll let the team know too. Get it now during this event because then you'll get it for the 395. After the event, I probably have them change that back because I'm sure that's a typo. It's supposed to be 495. The link, if you can go to the marketplace, and if you go to marketplace, just look for the AI Indicator Lab. I'll bring this over. It's going to look like this.
I
So
put
there
the
we
link in the chat too.
Yep, there it is. So during the event, get it for 395. Get it right away because the pricing's wrong, and you can technically take advantage of that while we're in the event. Yeah. The vendor link, that's going to be on the community, would it not? You can go
Yeah,
into the
no, go to the
community.
Tickblaze. No, go to the Tickblaze website for a second.
Okay. Partners B2B. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, go to partners. No, just close that down for a second. Yeah, go to partners, go to vendor network. Yeah, that's for anybody that wants to become a vendor partner. So these are all the other companies that have built businesses into Tickblaze and sell their software, and we've done events with them and done a bunch of stuff. It's
Very cool. There you go. So I'll go ahead and post this in the chat box for you. Cool deal. Speaker bands. Yeah. Yeah. Jeffrey's got some really cool stuff that's coming here pretty soon too. Yeah. That'll be coming out here shortly. Looking forward to seeing what you guys do on that one. That'll be
Stay
great.
tuned. We're just waiting for the programmer to finish it up.
Nice. Very nice. Well, cool. Well, I think we're pretty much good to go. Any last questions, go ahead and post those in there. Otherwise, I think we're good. We will see you in the live training on about a week or so, and we'll get into the nitty gritty. So let's see. Completely, I'm a beta tester.
Yeah, give me a second, Scott. I'm going to take a screenshot of your post and I'm going to send that over to our developers. Contact the team. Yeah. Give me a second. Yeah, I got it, Jimmy. I'll send it over to our
Cool.
team.
Yeah, that's a really great question. Donna's asking, for someone with no programming experience, how easy is this to learn? You don't need any programming experience whatsoever because we've got all the prompts for you. We tell AI exactly what to do. If you can, let's put it this way, if you can get Tickblaze on your computer and get a couple indicators installed, I'm sure you can do this too. It'll take some learning, a little bit of learning on how to use some of the tools and the tech stack and stuff to get it going, but it'll take you a day. You'll be good to go. But you need zero programming experience. Yeah. So good question. Cool. All right, guys. Well, I won't keep you any longer than we need to. I appreciate you coming out to be a part of this. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you have other questions, Jeffrey's available to help answer any questions you have. So I think a couple of you asked for someone to reach out. We can certainly do that. Yeah, Shalita, that's fine. Just send that into our team and we'll take care of you. Absolutely. So, all right. Well, traders, have a fantastic rest of the day and we'll see you very soon in the live training. And if you have questions, we'll reach out. So thanks for tuning in.
Okay, you guys can refresh the browser now. The page has been fixed. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Awesome, guys. Okay, thanks.
All right, guys. Have a good rest
Have a
of the
great
day.
day, guys. Bye.
Take care.